My parents laughed at my daughter's performance, so I blew up at them.
If you don't like my daughter's performance, you don't like me.
Hey, that's my daughter up there. That's my daughter up there. I had my parents over for dinner this weekend. They're in their 60s, and after dinner, my 10-year-old daughter asked if she could play us a song she'd been practicing on her keyboard.
Aw.
She takes lessons. By the way, this comes from user Papa Bear Piano, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Angie.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we're not perfect. So keep that in mind as we read OP's story. We might not have all the answers, but we're going to try our best. It wasn't perfect. A few missed notes, a couple of pauses, but she did really well. She looked up at the end with a massive smile, and I started clapping. My parents started effing laughing. Not just a little chuckle, but a massive belly laugh. Both of them. My mom asked if it was her first time playing it, and my dad said it had to have been.
Oh my God.
A dog could have played that better.
Oh my God.
That's
It was
brutal.
like my daughter was shrinking on the spot. She looked down and said, "No, I've had 2 lessons, but doing it with both hands is hard." They just laughed even harder.
Ain't no way.
I'd be like, "You did such a good job, baby. Why don't you go upstairs and get ready for bed? And I'm going to talk with Grandma and Grandpa." And I'd be like, "Let's go out back. I want to show y'all what slap boxing is."
It's my first time playing.
I'd be like, hey, I want you to try to play that on piano.
Yeah.
Let's watch you play that on piano right now.
If
Oh, you can't do it?
right.
Oh, that's I still want to see you try.
Yeah, like I could see, if I started playing piano and if I performed in front of like my friends or something like that, and they started teasing me like that, it could be funny. My feelings would probably actually be hurt if I was like really trying to do that. But between friends, that could be funny. But grandparents to a 10-year-old, that they take that hard, dude.
Yeah, dude. And that's like a formative, you've created like a core memory,
Yeah.
a core feeling.
Yeah.
So I stood up. I took their cups and said, "Leave now." My mom tried to say they hadn't finished their drinks and wanted to hear another song. I said, "Get your stuff and get the F out of my house right now."
Woo!
My dad started doing this huffing thing he does when someone dares to speak up to him. My mom said there was no need to be like this, that I can't protect her all the time, and that she was preparing my daughter for the real world. I said, quote, "It's not teaching the real world. You're just nasty little dumps, little poopy buttholes picking on children. And crap like this is why I was so effed up as a kid. Now leave." They got their stuff and left. I sat with my daughter and explained how proud of her I was and how well she was doing. I told her to ignore them and that they were just being cruel because they don't know any other way to be. I asked if she could please play it again, which she did. On Sunday, I messaged and said that until they can behave like decent human beings, we're taking a break from them. My dad replied that it was my choice, but he didn't realize he raised me to be so precious. Now my lovely brown-nosing golden child of a sister is getting involved. She phoned me today with my parents' version of events, telling me that I was a nasty piece of work and should never speak to my parents that way. That I'm wrapping my child in cotton wool and blah, 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 blah. I told her to go F herself and hung up. Appropriate response. "Hey, sis, that's really interesting. Have you ever considered, going and effing yourself?" Click. I am not asking if I'm wrong for standing up for my daughter. I will always do that. But I did go pretty 0 to 100. I punted them out straight away, swore at them in front of my daughter, and raised my voice at the end when I said leave. I was and still am angry. I don't think I'd even accept an apology from them at this point. And this behavior isn't new. It's decades old, but this is the first time it affected my daughter. Did I go too far? You didn't go far enough. Did I react too much? Should I have tried to be calmer and talk it out? There's an edit. Lots of people think I'm a mom. Nope. Single dad. Edit 2, I never doubted I was right for standing up for my daughter, just how I went about it. I'm going to sit down and talk with my daughter about it all, either tomorrow after school or on the weekend. My parents and sister can just disappear for all I care. To all the commenters that said they wish they had someone like me when they were younger, I get it. I really do. I hope you have someone now or are able to be that someone. Reading all these comments definitely changed my anger into sadness and the realization that I'm not alone with crappy parents. And there are some comments here. But, Angie, Keon.
Yes.
What are our thoughts?
I think it always frustrates me when people use the argument or excuse of like that's not how life works. Like, life doesn't work that way. We're just preparing her for the real world. It's like, okay, well, then you should be fine since you are so prepared for the real world. Then you should be totally fine with me kicking you out of my house right now. With me punting you out of my house. All right.
Welcome to the real world. When you insult my 10-year-old daughter in front of me, I'm no longer cool with you.
Yeah, exactly.
And in front of her. Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's one thing to be like behind like the kids upstairs and then you guys like, oh, that could have been better. But if you're doing it right in front of me and right in front of my kid, oh, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get physical. I'd be like, you're out. I'd be like, what? Why? The fact that they're like, wait, we didn't finish our drinks. We didn't finish our food. I'm like, that sucks. It's going in the trash.
Right.
I think after we didn't finish our drinks, I'd grab the drinks, throw the drinks on them.
There you go.
And this is if the
They're
child
done.
is not here. I'd be like, that's crazy. Your drinks are gone. Get out of my house. Comment number 1. I'm so sorry you were raised by those people, yet have not normalized their behavior. Not the a-hole. OP says, the way they were and how it affected me is why I will never, ever normalize it. I stopped doing so many things out of shame I should have never felt, and my daughter will not be the same. A downvoted commenter says, it didn't stop you from exposing your own child to it, though, did it? Stop being a crappy parent and don't allow them anywhere near your child again. They never treated my daughter like they did me before that weekend. I would never have allowed it. And the moment they did, I stopped it. I wasn't asking if I was wrong for stopping it, just how I went about doing so. Were OP's parents that way with his sister? OP says, F no. She could never do any wrong, and even her getting D's in school was worth applause in their eyes. Not much has changed, and she's still Little Miss Perfect to them. Comment 3 says, not the a-hole, you're a dang hero. If your parents think that's an acceptable way to talk to a child, they had it coming. Bullies always whine when the tables are turned. At most, you might want to talk to your daughter about how they've always been like this, and a confrontation was bound to happen. She may blame herself, or wonder if you'll yell at her like that someday. Knowing there's a history would help her understand. At 10, she'll have encountered bullies already, but may not know how they don't change when they grow up. Comment 4, not the a-hole. If you still want a relationship with your sister, you might consider telling her what really happened. By her reaction, you will know if she is someone you keep in your life or not, since you mentioned she only got your parents' version. OP says, even if she had my version, I doubt she'd change her mind. I can already hear well, your daughter should practice more. She's like a mini mom. OP responds to a comment asking about his musical background. I joined a choir as a preteen. My parents supported it and came to my first show. They then laughed at how my mouth moved and how my face was while I sang. Showed videos and pictures to family so they could laugh too. I quit it not long after parents burned that passion, and it effing hurts. I'm so happy for you being able to find it again. Thank you for your comment. Comment 5, my parents started laughing, not the a-hole. What massive see you next Tuesdays. I'm shocked you've kept them in your life if treating people with this level of derision is commonplace for them. OP replies, they haven't been like this since I hit around 20. Not supportive, but also not mocking or anything, you know? And never anything against my daughter, or I would have never let them around her. And there's an update. Let's just get into it.
I agree. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We know how we feel.
We cut contact with parents and sister. Good job.
Woohoo!
Parents kept messaging that I was being overprotective and didn't know how to raise a child. I should look at how well I've grown with how they raised me. Sister still thought I'm committing some massive crime by talking to my parents that way and not agreeing with them. It's been about 9 months since the last messages. They've been blocked, and any family that messages about them gets a warning that if they continue, they will also be blocked. Goodbye, Nan and Uncle Steve. Got my daughter a piano secondhand off Gumtree. Oh, Lord, are they expensive. Just over $5,000 for a small Yamaha. Then almost $1,500 to bring it up to scratch with keys and wires, and another $130 to tune it. Pianos are expensive. Probably got ripped off, but I don't know. She gives it up, and I might actually cry.
Yeah, it's like, please play piano. I'd love to hear you.
Sweetie, please keep using the Yamaha. She's 11 now and has lessons twice a week, which also make my bank account cry, but honestly, I think she might be the next Mozart.
Aww.
Only piano person I can think of. She practices all the time. I have a partner now, and he's equally as supportive as me. She always grins at the applause at the end of her shows, which happen fortnightly to monthly. I am beyond proud of my daughter. She understands why we don't see them anymore and seems okay with it. She is brilliant. And by the way, it'd be brilliant if you listen to full episodes with stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple Podcasts. Wherever you're listening, just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to the full archive of over 72 days worth of stories. It's a lot. Yeah. I'm glad. You're being the supportive parent your parents were never.
Everything's going great.
Yes!
Breaking the cycle.
Yes.
Edit to add, I reread the post and just wanted to add that I did talk to my daughter multiple times since. My parents were pretty involved in our lives, so their absence hit her pretty hard at the start. I explained in kid terms what I went through and what they said and how they were wrong and shouldn't have acted that way, and how I won't allow it with her. I also apologized for getting angry around her and swearing. She did get upset and said I scared her, which made me feel effing awful. She seems to understand none of it was aimed at her, but was for her. She isn't scared of me or anything. It was just an in-the-moment thing. I don't shout or swear around her normally. She gets that I love her. I'm here in her corner and always will be. Good.
Oh.
Perfect. I didn't even think of that. That was a great point.
Yeah, how
just
lovely.
making sure you check in and be like, everything's okay.
Yeah,
And I'm not mad at you, and none of this is your fault
of course.
for being a perfect little creature
Right.
that I love and who plays the piano.
This is how I protect you.
This is-
If you need me, that's what I'll do for you.
Yeah.
My father's new wife snooped around my home, so I banned her.
Click, clack, banned.
I, 28 female, am conflicted. My dad, Patrick, male 66, divorced my mom, Kathleen, female 61, when I finished high school. They were in their 50s. They had not been working for a long time. He remarried last year to a woman, Shelley, 54 female. She has 3 kids, Jacob, 32 male, Amelia, female 29, and Alex, male 29. They're twins. My brothers and I didn't really interact with them. And by the way, this comes from Kitsune, Kitsune66613. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. And we have not experienced all of these situations, so we might not have all the answers. But if you do, comment down below. And OP says, however, at the beginning of last year, I inherited my grandfather's estate and got to move into an amazing house. My dad was the one who was supposed to inherit it, but my grandfather was a petty person and gave it to me. I have been in the house since November 18th and have had very few visitors. It was mostly contractors to fix up the home and to build a large fence and refurbish the barn. I was feeling really good about my decorations and how it was really nice. My brothers, Damien, male 36, and his wife, Nadine, female 32, Lachlan, 30 male.
30 male.
With his
Lachlan.
partners.
It's Lachlan, 30 male. Lachlan.
Lachlan, 30 male, with his partners, David, 29 male, and Marion, 33 male.
Marianne.
33 female.
Marianne.
Marianne.
33
Marianne.
female.
And
Irish.
my younger brother,
33.
Matthew, 24 male, were over to look at the renovations and to plan the holidays when my dad arrived with his new wife. I felt a little upset because I had not invited them. My dad had sprung a lot on us, like the wedding, and I had not even gotten a chance to meet her before we arrived at the wedding. My dad told me about a barbecue that he was having so that we could get to know each other. We had a few drinks after with some snacks before people began going home. It seemed normal. I arrived on time and Shelley huffed when I arrived. I hugged my dad and went to the backyard. I stayed mostly with my siblings and their partners, and we are all introverted, so social gatherings are awkward. Dinner felt awkward. I was sat in the corner next to the kids. We were all engaging in small talk when suddenly Shelley asked why I was taking antidepressants and a few other medications. She also told me that if I was that unhappy, then I shouldn't be in such a big house all by myself. The table went ghostly silent. I asked why she was in my bathroom. Wait, what?
Oh, wait. Yeah. Because that's why she knows
Oh, yeah, because she
what
didn't...
medicine she's on.
Yeah, she didn't ask what antidepressants. She asked why she was taking antidepressants.
It's like,
yeah.
oh, you're taking this one. Are you fundamentally broken?
Right. I asked why she was in my bathroom. I didn't even know when she had a chance to go into my bedroom or bathroom. Shelley told me that family didn't keep secrets and that it was her job as my new mom to make sure I was okay. I looked at my siblings and they were all shocked. I told her that she wasn't my mom and that going into my bathroom was a gross invasion of privacy. Shelley told me that I was overreacting and that I was just like my crazy butt mother. I got up, told her that she was not welcome to my house in the future, and I would not be coming to any family functions that she was participating in until she apologized to me. My siblings walked out with me. They could not believe that she would be so audacious and act like that. My dad called later and told me that I was being sensitive and that Shelly probably just needed to use something from my bathroom. I told him that he was putting on blinders and this was a red flag. He told me not to talk to him until I calmed down and acted like an adult. I don't think that I was being unreasonable, but I am overthinking now and thinking that I might be the a-hole. I need some unbiased opinions because I think we might be biased from my dad's blind side with the wedding and everything. Please, I also need advice moving forward. I love my dad and I want to at least be cordial with his new wife. For clarification, they left my house. It was the next day that we went to their house for the barbecue. There are some comments, but yeah, what would you say to OP? Advice?
I think you go do the exact same thing she did at their house.
Yeah.
And you snoop around their house. And when they go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You go, oh, I thought this was okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did it need to happen to you for you to understand that it's a breach
Right.
of my personal boundaries to go snooping through my home? Even though, oh, I'm sorry. I was just doing this because I care about you.
My new mom.
I was simply snooping because I care about you.
That is so wild. I care
Yeah.
about you, and as your new mom, I need to take care of you.
She starts saying yes to everything. Oh, you guys are using those kind of cleaning products?
Yeah.
Well, it's really unhealthy for you. I don't think you should be doing that. And
Right.
I mean, yeah, and your medication, like, you shouldn't be eating that. You're on high blood pressure medication.
Right.
I took the liberty of taking all the salt out of the house because
There you go.
I don't want you guys to have health complications.
Yeah. We have some comments. Comment number 1 says, not the a-hole. She invaded your privacy, aired your business out, and then proceeded to be rude and disrespectful. Your dad's in the same boat. If anyone did that to my child, wife or not, they would be getting an earful, not my child. You're right to ban her from your house. Comment number 2 says, not the a-hole. She had no business going through your things. She's nosy and invasive, and I wouldn't be surprised if she was looking for things to steal. If you have anything valuable, double check to make sure it's still there. Also, put up security cameras if you don't already have them. I'd guess that she heard about how the house was supposed to be your dad's, and it feels like it's her right to go through anything and everything in it, since in her mind, it belongs to your dad, and of course, anything that belongs to him belongs to her as well. They don't see it as your house. They see it as their house that you are keeping from them. Your dad is a piece of garbage who is choosing the body warming his bed over his own child. That's a crazy way to say that.
What a great line.
Wow.
Absolutely. Absolute cinema
Yeah. I'm gonna keep that one in the little fold up,
in the chamber.
put it in the back pocket. Tell him that you're not apologizing, and as far as you're concerned, if he's okay with her being an invasive harpy, then he can stay out of your life too. She's not your mother, never has been, and never will be, and nothing you do has anything to do with her or is any of her business. She's not family, and if he's going to let her treat you and your siblings this way, he clearly isn't family to you anymore either. OP responds, I have security cameras and dogs who are a-holes. My property is large, so I also have some other guard animals that are mean to me, so we'll be ruder to trespassers.
Boo. Train your animals. Boo.
Yeah.
Train your
yeah.
animals to only be mean on command.
There you go. You can do it.
Or else they're just unruly pets.
Right.
Boo. Next.
My dad is not the easiest to get along with. He is introverted and has a hard time with confrontations. Part of the reason why it took them so long to divorce. He has reached out to my siblings and asked them to talk to me about overreacting. And my older brothers have told him to go get his head out of his booty. And when he finally sees what is wrong, they will be willing to talk to him again. My younger brother is trying to convince us that we need to sit down and have a talk without Shelly to really talk about everything. Comment number 3 says, have a family law attorney draw up power of attorney will and medical directives and possibly a trust that explicitly ban your father and his wife and subsequent wives from any future legal power over you or inheritance or through you. Change your locks and get a P.O. box to eliminate the possibility of your mail being intercepted.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
that's maybe a little extra.
That's a little extra.
I think maybe, to be honest, I think even like cutting all of them off entirely is a little extra. I think you just dish it back.
Yeah.
You dish it back when you have the next opportunity. And then when they say, what are you doing? And that's unacceptable. Like at the, next time you're at the barbecue and Shelly's got a plate of ribs, you take that away and you say, well, I saw the cholesterol medication in your cabinet. I don't think you should
Right.
be eating that.
Right.
And she goes, why are you
Yeah.
doing this? You go, oh, I just care about you.
Yeah.
And she goes, you shouldn't do that. That's your way out of line. And I go, oh, you're also out of line for doing that to me. Can we
Oh, my
agree about that
goodness.
now? So you never, ever do that again with me, right?
Right.
I
right.
respect your autonomy.
I
You respect
know.
mine. Cool.
There is another update though, so let's see what happens. So, update. This is only a small update because of everyone telling me that she was going to try and take my house. I called my dad, which was really heartbreaking. I asked him what he would do if someone went through his thing. He said it was different because she was worried about me. He then told me that he spoke to her about his mentally unstable daughter who makes poor choices, and I'm not lying, I started crying. I asked him if he wanted a relationship with me because his actions were screaming that he no longer wanted me. He let out a deep sigh and asked if I was still talking to my shrink because I was acting just like my mother. I am ashamed to say that I started yelling at him over the phone. How dare he treat me like this? How dare he talk about my personal information with a stranger? And how dare he act like this is okay? I have been medicated since I was 14 because of him. I have given excuses for his actions over the years and tried to be a good daughter, to do things that are outside of my character to fit his idea of a perfect daughter. So F you.
Yeah, I think at that point, it's like, as soon as he goes,
Yeah.
I mean, are you seeing your therapist? Because you're just like your mom right now.
Yeah.
I go, oh, you mean the mom you divorced, so you don't want anything to do with me.
Right.
Great. See you never.
Yeah.
Until you apologize for being an absolute wiener head.
Exactly. But you would never be a wienerhead if you just listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. And you can avoid being a wienerhead for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
As long as you listen
Exactly.
to us. But there is a little bit more to the story. But yeah, I think that's incredibly heartbreaking to hear from your dad. I think it's totally fine for you to start yelling in that moment. Honestly, I think it seems like that answer was no. He answered her question with another question. And it sounds like if her answer to that question was like, you know, yeah, like either way, honestly, like, yes, I'm still seeing the therapist. No, I'm not seeing the therapist. Like, how would that change it? It sounds like either way, he would still be like, oh, well, I mean, okay, so you still need a therapist. So you're acting just like your mom and I don't want to be around you. Or, oh my gosh, you're not getting the help that you need because you're just like your mom and I need to not be around you anymore. Clearly unaware of how he's affecting these situations because apparently, you know, she needed medication in the first place because of this guy. So what did he do to the mom to drive her out of there and drive her crazy too? This is wild. But we do have a little bit more. So I hung up the phone and called my emotional support human, my older brother, Damien, and cried to him. He was running errands, I suppose, because he showed up at my house and brought with him ice cream and Baileys. We sat in my bed with my dog Chaos and ate ice cream and drank Baileys straight from the bottle. The next confrontation is with Shelly in a day or two. Also, for those worried, if I'm institutionalized or anything, my brother Lachlan gets the house. I am also going to call my mom because this has been more upsetting than I thought it would be, and she will fly in and rip my dad a new one. Possibly might give Shelly the old 1, 2, 2. Right now, I just need booze and the comfort of strangers from the internet, and we are here to give that to you, OP. That's unfortunately the end of that story, but
yeah, I don't even know if your mom needs to come out and then like yell at your dad. Like, it's clear that he, I don't know, was just like being entirely dismissive.
yeah,
And he's taking his wife, which, look, even if she is worried about you, like calling you out over dinner, it's like,
Yeah.
she's not worried about you. She's like worried about you in the context of like the damage you could do to like her husband's image or like well-being, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Being like, your severely mentally ill daughter who makes poor choices. So it's like, it's a selfish concern, not a
Absolutely.
genuine concern.
absolutely.
My sister refused to let her family vacation without her.
If I can't go, no one can.
And there is a trigger warning here for emotional abuse. I'm 27 male, really curious what people think about this situation. My sister, 40 female, and her husband, 41 male, have 2 kids, 9 and 7, both boys. Her husband works in finance, and she works part-time for a family friend, so very flexible hours. By the way, this comes from user Alternative Meat 469, And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Angie.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we're not perfect and we don't always have all the answers. So if you've been through this situation or you have something to say about it, let us know in the comments. OP says, I ran into her husband at Costco and we were talking about summer plans now that the kids weren't in school. He said they were going to camp and I asked if they were going away anywhere. He said no, because my sister wouldn't take time off work and wouldn't let him take the boys without her. He was talking about how much he wants to travel with them and how frustrating it is that my sister won't even take a few days off for a long weekend. A little while later, I had a similar conversation with my sister. I asked about summer plans, and she said they didn't really have any because she was working. I asked if taking time off would really be a big deal, and she said, not really, but she just doesn't want to. I said, what about just letting your husband take them? I asked this because I didn't fully believe what her husband had told me earlier. He is a great guy, but really likes when people feel bad for him. He always has some sort of woe is me type situation going on. She said he wasn't allowed to do that and make those type of memories without her. I think that's awful to do to the children and her husband. Everyone in that family except her wants to travel. It's fine if she doesn't want to, but I don't think she should be stopping them. I gently told her, maybe you could reconsider letting your husband and the boys go without you so they can experience the things they want to do. She freaked out and started screaming about how no one is ever on her side and how her husband and our mom are narcissists and how I'm going to be one too. It was wild. I apologized and said it was none of my business anyway. We watched some TV and then I went home. Any advice would be appreciated. Real advice? I mean, sure, you could be like, hey, buddy, she can't, like, handcuff you to the house. Like, you and your kids can still leave, and she'll probably hem and haw, but, you know, she's being unreasonable. The other option would probably be, like, find every single cool, fun thing you can do in your town and just do it without her. Because now you're not leaving town. You're not going on vacation.
There you go.
You're just constantly doing fun stuff without her.
Honestly, make the best out of it. If you really can't do a trip anywhere, might as well go do some fun stuff around the town.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go around town.
Town.
Or just, like, take a day trip, take a weekend, whatever.
Yeah, go watch a baseball game.
Yeah, but in terms of OP, it's like, I think you give that advice to your brother-in-law, and you move on.
Yeah.
I think that's all you can really do.
I agree.
Update. I posted a few weeks ago about my sister who won't take time off work to go on vacation with her husband because she doesn't want them to have memories without her. Well, some interesting developments have happened. Oh, boy. Background. My sister works part-time, unpaid, helping out a family friend on their farm. This family friend has farm hands for manual labor. My sister describes herself as being the emotional support human to the animals. Be that to your children. She started this job in 2021 after being a stay-at-home mom for 6 years. She has a law degree, but never practiced. Her husband has a high-paying position at one of the big 4 accounting firms. I came back from a short trip and brought some souvenirs for my nephews. I swung by their house Wednesday to drop them off. My brother-in-law and I chatted for a bit, mostly about my trip. He started talking about how he's going on a work trip and wishes my sister would go with him, but she won't take off work. I'm just nodding and saying things like, oh, interesting. Oh. Very non-committal because I'm not looking to get involved again. Then he starts telling me about her new hobby that she's picked up because of work, horseback riding. She wants a horse. She's traveling to Europe in a few weeks with the family friend to buy a horse. Apparently all the best horses come from Europe, and she's never, which is not true. I don't think.
I'm sure we've got some good horses out here. I'm sure.
Regardless, she's never expressed any interest in this before, but I guess she's a horse girl now. He said it's going to cost at least $40,000 to import this horse. I am absolutely dumbfounded by this. She won't travel with her husband and kids. She won't let him travel with the kids, but she'll go off to Europe to buy a horse. Somehow my brother-in-law is cool with bankrolling this.
my God.
$40,000 is what most people make in a year. I'm not poor, but I can't imagine spending that much money on anything other than a car, house, or medical bills.
And that's just to get the horse from Europe. That's not about all of the other, like, famously expensive things that go along with horses.
Yeah.
Taking care of horses.
You gotta stable the horse. You gotta take care of the horse. You gotta feed the horse.
Yeah, clean
You gotta
it.
make sure the horse is mentally okay, which
Yeah.
I guess you're on top of since you're the emotional
She's got
support
it.
human.
Right.
Um,
Oh my gosh. Yikes. And then even like getting a saddle and then all the things to take care of the saddle too is expensive in itself. My goodness.
Then, my brother-in-law starts telling me about how he wanted to take the kids somewhere while she's in Europe, but she basically said no. He had also suggested turning this into a family trip where they could all go, and she could pick out the horse and then explore a bit, and she nixed that too, saying she didn't want to have to worry about the kids while traveling. It would complicate the trip, and the kids might spook the horses. So, he suggested meeting there once she picked out a horse, and they could stay longer, which she declined that too, saying she would have to miss work. My brother-in-law was clearly frustrated and upset. I said maybe therapy would help, but he said they're already in therapy. There was a family get-together today, and my sister was excitedly telling us about her upcoming trip and the horses she's planning to look at. My mom asked her how her husband felt about all this, and my sister said, I've decided to stop taking his feelings into account. These people really just walk around among us, don't they? These people we walk by people like this on the street,
Oh yeah.
at the market,
Oh yeah. These people are everywhere.
at the movie theater.
Oh yeah. It's rare to not run into people like this.
I've decided to stop taking his feelings into account. Maybe he should stop taking your feelings into account too. Well, he can't do that. He can't, because I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that if he did that. This woman needs to take a big step back and look
Yeah.
at herself in the mirror.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So after she said that, my mom pointed out that probably isn't a good attitude to have towards your husband,
Yeah.
especially when he pays for everything she wants. My sister said this was something she needed because she's so overwhelmed and stressed these days. My mom did not react well to this. She raised her voice at my sister and told her, I have no idea what you have to be stressed about. Your husband pays for a housekeeper and a nanny, and you don't have to worry about money. Your work isn't mentally or physically taxing. Your husband's an active father who pulls his weight, and all I ever hear from you is complaints about how hard your life is. My sister got pissed, and they were both yelling over each other. Thank God the kids were playing with their dad outside, because my sister started saying how she regrets having children and that they've ruined her life.
Oh my God. Yikes.
I was shocked because her kids are smart, funny, well-behaved, mostly self-sufficient, and overall just great kids. I also don't understand why she would oppose her husband traveling with just the kids if she regretted them. Wouldn't that give her time away from them? The whole thing ended when my sister told my mom she's a self-absorbed person and that it's her fault she's like this, and that my mom hates seeing her happy. My mom told my sister to get out of the house and off her property immediately. On her way out, my sister said to me, you should have defended me, but you just stood there. You're just as bad as mom. I don't want to get involved in any of this drama, but I'm not sure if I should give her husband a heads up about what she said about the kids. They're in therapy together, so I assume this must be a topic they've discussed. It's all so strange. My sister isn't normally like this. Update 2. Before we get into that, doctor, brain scan.
Honestly.
Tumor? Is it a tumor?
Honestly. Because something's like, I don't know. She's so loud about all of her problems right now. And I mean, the mom has said that that's kind of all she does is complain about them. But like, I feel like if she was like this her whole life, then like, I feel like she wouldn't get married to her husband, you know? I feel like he wouldn't marry her.
Exactly. I think maybe make sure there's not something pressing on the frontal lobe.
Yeah.
And if there's not, therapy doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's an update. I wasn't expecting to make an update less than a day later. My plan was to take a day or two to think about what exactly to say to my brother-in-law. It turns out I didn't need to do anything because my mom beat me to it. It may have gotten buried in the comments, but our parents split due to our dad's infidelity. After the fight yesterday, my mom also suspected my sister was having an affair. She called my brother-in-law this morning and told him what my sister said, and shared her suspicions. My brother-in-law called me to confirm what my mom said was true. When I told him it was, he asked if I could take the kids for the day so he could talk to my sister. I don't know the details of what happened between them, but when I brought my nephews back, my sister's car was gone. My brother-in-law and I talked outside for a bit. I asked how he was doing. He said, pretty bad. I found out my wife hates us.
Oof.
He doesn't know for sure if there was a physical affair, but there were flirty messages with the family friend on her phone and texts describing a deep hatred for her life. He said when he tried to talk to her about it, she just completely shut down and left. He's heartbroken. I think divorce is inevitable, and I know my brother-in-law is going to fight like the devil for his kids. They're his world. And I don't know where my sister is. She didn't tell him where she was going and hasn't reached out. I'm assuming she is with the family friend, and I hope she's safe. A few people asked why my brother-in-law didn't suspect an affair. The family friend is a woman, and my sister has never really been LGBTQ plus friendly, so it's quite unexpected. I'm deeply saddened by this outcome. It's hard to put my feelings into words. There's a large age gap between my sister and me. She started dating her husband when I was 3, so practically my whole life I've known them as a unit and thought they were rock solid. I'm wondering what holidays will be like now. So much is going to shift. My mother is furious that my sister would take this path knowing what infidelity does. She's irrevocably damaged her relationship with my sister, and I don't know if they'll ever speak again. I feel guilty about not speaking up before my mom did. Maybe she could still have a relationship with her only daughter if I had been the one to say something. I'm absolutely devastated for my nephews. I'm sure they're confused. I remember the feeling of abandonment and fury after my dad left and know how much that has impacted my life and relationships. I hate that they have to experience it too. My heart is just incredibly heavy. The whole situation has made me reflect on how quickly things can unravel. My sister seemed to have everything: a loving husband and beautiful children, financial security, and the freedom to pursue her interests. Yet she was deeply unhappy and apparently having an emotional affair with someone I would have never expected. I keep thinking about the signs that were there. Her refusal to let her family travel without her wasn't about wanting to be included. It was about control. Her sudden obsession with horses and willingness to spend $40,000 on something she had never shown interest in was alarming. Her statement about not taking her husband's feelings into account was a massive red flag that I should have addressed more seriously. What bothers me most is how her children have become collateral damage in whatever crisis she's going through. These kids did nothing wrong, and yet they're the ones who will suffer the most from her choices. My brother-in-law is a good father, but no matter how hard he tries, he can't shield them from the trauma of their mother abandoning them. I'm also struggling with my role in all of this. Should I have confronted my sister more directly when she first made those concerning comments? Should I have talked to my brother-in-law sooner about what I was observing? I keep second-guessing every conversation, wondering if there was something I could have said or done differently. The family dynamics have shifted completely. My mom, who was already dealing with the trauma of my father's infidelity, now has to watch her daughter repeat the same destructive pattern. The parallels are too painful to ignore. It's like watching history repeat itself in the worst possible way. And by the way, in the best possible way. There are full episodes with stories like this for you to listen to whenever your heart desires, as long as you're connected to the internet on your favorite podcast platform. Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, just search OK Storytime, and you can have the whole archive ready to stream into your ear holes. There's a little bit more story left. I feel like OP was assigned the fixer position in the family.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
I wonder if there are any other siblings besides the older sister. Because it's clearly OP feels this kind of, I don't understand where the responsibility is coming from. Like,
Yeah.
if you confronted your sister at that event, like, it wouldn't have changed anything.
Right.
There was no change, like, nothing you could have said to your sister would have changed the way she was thinking or feeling.
Yeah, I wonder if, like, maybe if the parents didn't always have a good relationship, like if the sister always kind of had that idea that the mom was a self-absorbed person, like maybe they just had a bad relationship growing up, and little OP, so much younger than all of that, not understanding exactly what was going on. Maybe he was trying to, or maybe he felt like he could fix things at that point, and maybe that's how that developed or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause he's just trying to make it all stop, and maybe people would stop fighting around him since he was so much smaller, but that's my guess for how he could become the fixer. But
It could be.
yeah.
Let's finish this story. I'm trying to be there for my brother-in-law and nephews while also processing my own grief over losing the sister I thought I knew. The woman who left yesterday isn't the sister who helped raise me or who I thought would be in my life forever. It's like she's been replaced by someone I don't recognize. Moving forward, I'm committed to being present for my nephews and supporting my brother-in-law through what's undoubtedly going to be a difficult divorce and custody battle. These kids need stability and love, and I want to make sure they know they have family who will always be there for them, even when their mother isn't. And I don't know if there's any testimony in divorce proceedings, but if you could be a character witness being like, I was there at the dinner when she said, I don't care for my kids, they ruin my life.
Yeah.
I have nothing but that disdain for them.
Right.
Like,